Hello, everybody. We should be connected by now. This is Matthew Emmer McLean, the Shamanic Happiness Coach, coming at you from my office, yay, for day number 89 of the 90-Day Happiness Challenge. Oops. We are almost done. Holy moly. So much gratitude going forward in your adventures, and it's so amazing to be able to witness your adventures as you've been posting and sharing about your transformations and reaching out to me for guidance on all of those things. So thank you very much for that. It's wonderful to be part of your journey. For today, big and powerful, we are going to be engaging more with the unseen, a little bit of like letting go. So much like we practiced grieving in the earlier parts of this challenge, we're going to do that same thing but with a lot of intention this time. So previously, I also talked about building in ritual, and we talked about perspectives and perceptions. And so we're going to go ahead and utilize all of those types of the moving and shaking of that, the freedom of that, and we're going to allow us to be completely authentic in releasing things from our past. So one of the things that we can do is fire ceremony, okay? And this is super simple. I was going to do this a little bit differently, but the weather obviously had other plans. I was going to do this outside with my own little fire pit. I have a little tiny cauldron to use, but we're not going to do that because, yes, and you can do it with a candle. So I guess this is supposed to be demonstrated with you like this. So I say when you're going to do a fire ceremony, the idea behind it is to either bring in or let go of, or basically just get help from the unseen world and just transforming. Fire is indicatively, through almost every culture, the medium for transformation. So if we want to utilize that, we can. We just want to be able to keep whatever tradition or however we go about it to be sacred, right? So if you want to use a shamanic tradition, I suggest you Google looking that up. We're going to kind of use one like that, but there's myriads of them. And make sure that, whatever you follow through with, it's in your heart's intention. So part of the reason why I have a candle, and I just say, let's just go with it with a lot of intention. I like to say when we're doing certain things, like gatherings and whatnot, a shitload of a container and a buttload of intention will make anything happen. So let's get with the container. The container, first off, let's just do a prayer and or opening of sacred space. And if you have an invocation, I encourage you to use that. Otherwise, we can just do a prayer of intent. And it's just, may this offering to the fire, to the transformations of myself, those that I affect in the world around me, benefit from my growth, maybe. Or we might want to call in some of our angel helpers, such as Archangel Michael, and just say, Archangel Michael, please come into this space and only allow the most altruistic and benevolent beings within. All of my other guides, my angels, please be with me now as well. You can also call in the four directions, if that's something that seems right to you, whatever you want. Just really a prayer of intent, okay, is what we start out with. Then we go into utilizing what we want to let go of. So you've had almost 90 days to really get used to what transition means and maybe what keeps you blocked. And the cool thing about this 90-day transformation too is that we understand that, yeah, we might have like these little things that come in our way, but the bigger picture is we are completely capable of navigating our lives. We just may have been a little bit confused. So maybe instead of being afraid of one thing, I can instead be more, or not afraid, instead of being challenged by just one thing, like an actual event, maybe I'm fully capable of navigating through this event, and I can get helpers to do that, or I can bolster myself. So an example that I wrote down here is I let go of the need for struggle. How many of us like to do it the hard way? That's a big one, right? So I wrote that down on this little piece of paper, and this is what I'm going to do to honor my 90 days. I encourage you to write down whatever you want to. You could be a whole piece of paper. I'm being cognizant of being indoors, so I don't want to burn a whole piece of paper. There are other people that share the office building as well, so I want to make sure that I don't set off any alarms and whatnot. But we're going to use this guy. Now, I have my little candle or fire, and I have my little thing to put my paper in. And I have a little instrument of blessing. And for this, I'm kind of just going to utilize when I light this candle, and I'll show you in a sec. So again, to reiterate, why we do rituals like this or transformational moments is because if we have baggage from the past, it's preventing us from being in the moment. It's defining who we are. It's defining how we show up. If we have anticipations or expectations of the future, those also are constraining where we can go and how we can show up, right? Takes us out of being in this moment, being able to navigate in almost any direction. So if we can free ourselves from the things that are weighing us down, then we are free to create out in the world in a much larger capacity, specifically happiness, right? So in this space, for the end of this 90 days, I am utilizing this technique to release things from the past. So your list might be longer than this. Your list might be a little bit more poetic. It might be just completely different. It's no big deal. This ritual is completely individualized to you because it's your authenticity and your intuition and your intention. So, opening of sacred space, we kind of already do that. And now, before I light the candle, I open sacred space. Now, I'm going to light this candle, and as I'm doing it, I'm sending it love with the intentions of thanking the fire for helping me transform. And I might want to just do a little music, right? Just kind of bring in some. And I might want to just honor the flame a little bit. Using some sound therapy, right? Maybe you want to play a little song on your guitar. Maybe you have a flute. Maybe you got some drums, whatever it is. I do have a drum over here, but that's for later. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. You don't have to fold this up. I'm just doing it so it burns a little bit easier. And as I'm doing this, generally I recite a prayer, such as you could do a loving kindness prayer, or you can come up with one. I'm utilizing a prayer specifically meant for fire ceremony, and it goes like this. It's a song, really. It goes, Nichi, Tai Tai, Nui, Oronika, Oronika, Hey, Hey, Oh, I. Yeah. And this is actually just the translation for that is actually the essence. It says, O great mother, O great mother, yes, mother of the waters, we call upon you, waters of our birth, waters of our substance, waters that cleanse us on our deathbed, waters of life. Interesting that I'm singing a water prayer song for a fire ceremony, but how indicative as well, because water flows through things, and it is the thing that gives life. So if I'm praying for life or praying for a new beginning, it makes sense, right? So internally, I'm going to be singing the Nichi Tai Tai song. I might be singing it out loud. Who knows? Whatever's right for you is right. You can find this song, too, on just by searching for, I believe, fire ceremony song. You can find it on Google. Super easy. But it goes like this again. And so I'm just going to go ahead and be in prayer to burn this. What are we at for time? Good. I'm going to be in prayer to burn this. Nichi Tai Tai Nui Oronika Oronika Hey 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 Oh I. Now I'm burning. Nichi Tai Tai Nui Oronika Oronika Hey 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 Oh I. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this smoke, this heat that's coming off of here, and I'm going to just waft it in my space. Just kind of like smudging. Remember how we did that a little bit before? I'm just going to allow it and this heat from the fire to come over me because I'm in space right now. And so wherever I might need some of this, maybe it's in one of my energy centers, wherever it is. Maybe it's just my psyche, right? And I can just kind of bathe myself in that, and that's nice. And when I'm done, I thank everything. Take a big breath. And just allow to release and allow for trust, completely in trust. And then I'm going to go ahead and blow out my candle. And I'm going to probably take this and either put it like in a garden bed or somewhere where the ashes can be utilized for new purposes, basically, kind of a thing, just recycling of that energy. So that is a simple fire ceremony. You can make it as elaborate as you want to, but you always want to start with that sacred invocation of space, some type of prayer to help protect you and your prayers and whatever you're engaging upon. Make sure you have your written statement that you want to let go of. And I just said I wanted to let go of the need for struggle because I'm going to feel like the idea behind that for me is anytime that I feel like some kind of challenge is coming, we might have this thing that makes us do it the hard way. And we don't need to do that. We can do things with ease, grace, kindness, and goodness. It's super easy. And move through things. And with less resistance, because the more resistance we experience, the more suffering we experience, right? So I'm going to detach and allow myself to flow through whatever comes my way. No big deal, right? So in that space, I'm going to do that. Now, maybe I notice that there's something else later on that I struggle from, or that I feel like I want to release for my journey. Maybe it's how a situation could be resolved. Maybe I've exhausted all of my input, and now it's like, okay, I just got to let it go. And this will help take it off our minds. Part of this, I should say, comes down to trusting. Big time trusting and using your intuition. And always just allowing it to let go. Practice not even really focusing on the fact that I just let go of struggle, so to speak, or that I let go of maybe the outcome. I completely wash that entire scene of my space, right? And if anything shows up for it, then I can be in a new space with it, and I can allow new energy to come in, such as the resolution to a conflict or some type of problem like that I didn't foresee. There we go. Yes. So this is number 89. I want you to go ahead and share what you're releasing, what came up in your body your mind, your emotions, in maybe your consciousness as you were burning this thing. And you don't even have to use, I should say, a piece of paper. You could just use a stick or something like that. A paper is easier to burn, especially if you're using a candle. When you're using a full fire, you have to make sure that the coals, there's no more big fire, it's just mainly coals. And then you would put it on there. And then make sure that you don't leave your fire until all of those flames are gone. And of course, it's put out appropriately. But you could use a stick and just kind of blow your intentions into the stick 3 times. Really whatever burns for you, okay? And then you can put it in. So with that, make sure you do your share. Talk about what you experienced, what you let go of. All that good stuff. And specifically, we are doing this on a full moon. Today is a full moon for day number 89. Now, this might not be the case when you go to do this challenge in the future, but you can always wait to a full moon to do releasing. Some traditions do releasing during a new moon or the birth of something, so that's kind of like a transition. Or you could even do it during half moon. Really just is up to you what your intuition is asking you to do. You can do this at any other day as well. It just becomes more in alignment when you do it with a full moon, okay? So, yes, I think that's it for today. Oh, I can't wait to see everybody for tomorrow, day number 90, the very last day of the 90-day happiness challenge. So congratulations for making it this far. You are powerful. You are amazing. Make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions or you need support. With light and love, I say namaste. Bye-bye until tomorrow. Doo-doo-doo.